All right, guys. So we have Shawn Meaike with us today.
Thank you, Factory Fresh. I appreciate that.
So-
Artificial applause or not, it still feels
Yeah.
good.
So we had you on our first podcast we ever did,
Okay.
and that was when this was like a year ago. And I was sharing with you my bonus had just got to $50K a month.
I'm remembering this now.
Yeah, it was before the integrity deal,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to follow up since we had you in town with what's happened since then.
Man, it's been quite a year. I think we learned a lot. I think we launched this business to be really transparent, just trying to put agents in a better position. A lot of people say that, but they don't mean it. And I'm not trying to be funny or cute, I just mean that we literally wanted the agents to be in a better position. We knew that if we offered them a better product and the ability to make more money faster, that was the right thing to do. And I think we worked really, really hard for our first. I mean, I think we're coming up on our 7-year anniversary. But the partnership with integrity, one of the things that people have to understand is like, man, why did you all look to partner? Like you were growing like crazy. And I said, well, we were not growing like crazy. We were growing incrementally. But what we found was we couldn't take the lid off this thing. And what I mean by that is we didn't have the leads, the infrastructure, specifically CRM, contracting, offices. We just didn't have the structure where if you decided, Andrew Taylor, to hire 500 people for the month, you would have run into roadblocks on a lot of those. Matter of fact, a lot of the IMOs out there, when you look at, we'll finish 2020 with right around 190 million in paid business. To put that in perspective, if you work in this business, you're in the middle America market, we're probably seven times bigger than your company if your company's of any significance. 6 times at the great, and you can call the carriers if you want. We're much larger than any other company in our space, and it's not even close. So I think a lot of those, I tend to watch what other people do, and if it's not working, I tend not to repeat. I know it sounds really simplistic, but that's part of business, is keeping your head on a swivel and going, that works, let's try it. That doesn't work, let's stay away from it. And I try to think, why haven't they grown? Like, why have people been doing this 15, 20 years and can't get past that $30, $40 million mark? I've heard companies go, we're doing $100 million. They're not doing $100 million. They're not even submitting $100 million. I know them. I've been there. I can talk to the insurance carriers. And what I realize is, despite the fact that they were stealing, in my opinion, a lot of money from people, putting them at 45, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% comp. If you're at comp that's below 100%, you should quit. And you should quit today. You don't deserve that. But what I realize is even if they were like trying to grow, they didn't have the infrastructure to do it. And nor did we. And I think we were really working real hard. To give you an idea, Andrew, we've tripled in a year. That's pretty crazy. And we've tripled our issue paid volume. We were doing better than everybody else was, but not, it wasn't like a runaway race. But we just wanted I think every decision we've tried to make, and doesn't mean we're perfect, is what's going to work best for the agent and the manager and the board member and all that. And I think for us, a deal with integrity and partnership was good for the agent. It's kind of like, is it good for the client? Yes. Is it good for the agent? Yes. And is it going to hurt the company? No. So we've tripled. Has it been a heck of a year? Yeah. We've stumbled into some things lead-wise. I can tell you if you're doing telemarketing leads, you should quit. They're non-compliant. And I'm not trying to be funny with this whole quit thing. It's just if you're not making money and doing things that are non-compliant, you're going to have a problem. Telemarketing leads are not compliant. It's impossible with that many people on the do not call list to produce leads that are compliant. It's impossible. I don't need to be a mathematician. I'm pretty good at math, but I don't need to be to go, that doesn't work. So for us, we've direct mail. We realized years ago was slowing down. It's 2020. Postage will continue to go up. It'll be cost prohibitive to create leads through direct mail. So we got really into internet and Facebook leads, and really heavy in internet leads. But qualified internet leads. See, I think, Andrew, 10 years ago, I was introduced to internet leads. If you thought about life insurance, you became a lead. And you call people.
Or if you wanted a free gift card on
anything.
the internet.
It was just they weren't. And I think it really put a bad taste in people's mouths because that's what they knew. And then when we started working with the companies we worked with, and found how many points there were to qualify the client through the
16
process.
questions they have to answer.
It's crazy. So to have exclusive brand new leads for $11 and have the lead inventory. So Andrew, is it much better to work here? I always kind of laugh when people say, "Man, am I starting too late?" I'm like, no, you might not want to start 3, 4, 5 years ago. I mean, you're probably starting. We've never been poised to grow like we are today. So I mean, that's a few things that have happened, and that's some stuff about our growth.
What a lot of people have been talking about something called the integrity effect. How would you explain that?
Yeah, I mean the integrity effect, the integrity factor, however you say that. The way I look at it would be like, let's say me and you, Andrew, we got a baseball team. We got 7 other guys. We got 9. We're working hard at it. We practice. We're good people, relatively talented. And, we got a little field, and sometimes it rains, can't use it for 2 weeks. We don't have the ability to bring in a new player, so none of us can get hurt. And then all of a sudden, we get somebody that goes, "Hey, I'd love to work with you all. You're pretty talented. We'd love to work with you, infuse you with capital, resources, coaching, training, physical therapy, all of the above." And they're like, "Okay, you're willing to do that?" So for us, we took all the people that when I started looking at the integrity partners, I'm like, this is a who's who in the industry. And also, I think the big part for what integrity does really, really well, in my opinion, is they let people run their business. They partner with people and they go, "You've been successful. That's why we chose to partner with you. So why don't you just keep running your business?" While in the meantime, I mean, they're providing stuff CRM wise and infrastructure, Angela, we could never have afforded. Never. You can say whatever you want. We couldn't afford it. And I don't think a lot of that, and we didn't keep the money that a lot of these companies keep. But what you find out when you keep a lot of like ridiculously high spread, it's just turnover machine. A lot of our alleged competitors, they just turn over all the time. And I didn't want to do that. That's exhausting, Andrew. Hire 100, lose 20, hire another 100, lose 30. That's, I've been at meetings where like, we have 3,000 people and 2,000 are new. It's like every year 2,000 are new. And every year we have 3,000. There's 1,000 of us that are sticking around and another 2,000 quit. That's not how we want. That wasn't our model. So I think the integrity factor is really, you take the best infrastructure in the business. I think you take the best leadership, the best partnerships, and you put them all together with the business that's growing, and it explodes. It's just like throwing gas in a fire.
Now, how many FFL agents are partnering with integrity?
We have 7 now that are done and announced, and we have a number of others that are in the process. Matter of fact, some more that you're going to hear from probably by, end of year, early 2021. And we've set our goal next, in 2021 is to have 400 offices across the country, but also to have 40 integrity partners.
Dude, 2 million account.
And I did not see that coming, Factory Fresh. I like that. But the reality really is, Andrew, I think it plays into what we do. And our deal is, the one thing you can say a lot of things about us if you want. You can try to criticize. You do what you want to do. None of that bothers me. I don't worry about anybody with their opinion. God's in charge, and I ain't worried about what a human being has to say about me. I'm just going to do the best I can and try to get better every day. But money's never been the motivator for us, and it's made us really powerful. I don't think we set out to do it to be powerful. It's just I didn't have any money. Most of us didn't have much. We just wanted to help people get in a better position. And we knew a little bit of a lot would end up being like really nice one day. We just knew we were going to have patience. And I think that's the problem for a lot of people. They don't have the patience. If I don't make the money in 3.5 days, I'm out. It's like, okay. For us, it was a marathon, not a sprint. And because money's not what drives us, it's a great byproduct. But because it's not what drives us, that's why I think we're going to see our partnerships here continue to explode with integrity.
Now, why do you think so many FFL people are in the position to partner so fast?
Well, they're making money. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't do anything with any of these groups or partner with anybody for that matter if you're not making money. I mean, they don't do it out of the kindness of their heart. I think they're good people, a lot of them, but I don't care what group you're talking about that's in the position that integrity's in. You have to have an EBITDA that's healthy. Your earnings before income tax depreciation, your net income. You have to have a healthy earnings. We have a lot of people. I think that's one of the things that really blew me away when I knew we had a lot, but to really kind of sit down with folks and be like, wow, and that's what makes you smile at the end of the day. We've developed a system. That's why we never, Andrew, the first 3 years were really, really hard. I'm not trying to be but they were a struggle, dude. And I think what motivated me the most was people saying to our alleged competition, because we're not really competing with them, they're 7 times bigger than they are, is they would say stuff like, they won't make it 3 years. They're not keeping enough money to make it 3 years. And every time it got really tough, and we were never going to quit. I mean, we may have, not been able to finish, but we would never have quit. We would have given everything we got. But every time I thought of that, I was like, I'm not giving them the satisfaction. Because my concern, Andrew, was, to be honest with you, if we gave up or failed, that nobody would try this model again. And what they would be able to say, all these other people that run their models in a very different way, they'd be able to say, see, that doesn't work. They'd be able to say to their agents, we'd pay you more comp, but it will fall apart. We'd pay you a bonus, but it will fall apart. We'd give you renewals day one, but it will fall apart. We'd ask you not to sign a contract. They just would point to us and go, look, that failed. Do you want to be in a system that stays alive? And I think we would have let a lot of people down. So we actually were fighting. It sounds really weird. People that don't even work with us. We just were. I mean, that's one of these people from day one. Like, you want to put your training online? They would say to me, how do you control them in the corporate office? How do we control the training? I'm like, I don't want to control it. Well, how do we make sure nobody can view it? What do I care? Like, so you're going to do the Next Level Live on Facebook? Yeah. Live? Yes. For everybody to see? Yes. What do I care? And if you're watching this and you had another company and the training from these awesome people we have here, the presumptive sales training's helped you, good. You sold insurance somewhere else and we didn't make $1, so what? Did you do better for your family? Yeah, good. Now tell them to give you a raise. Take some of our training and use it to negotiate. If you stay there forever, stay there forever. I just want to see people win. This is a huge business. And folks get caught up in 10 or 12 people. It's a huge business. I mean, there's millions of agents. There's hundreds of millions of clients. There's hundreds of billions of dollars sold a year in life and annuity premium. I mean, you just have to be really aware of how big this thing really is.
Yeah, instead of getting caught up on a couple people.
Correct. Whether it's clients or clients or recruits.
One thing I've noticed about like I'm going to say the culture in FFL, there's a lot of people making a lot of money, but there's nobody posting about how they're on vacation all the time, about their cars, their houses, anything. Most people are just posting about them working and setting an example for other people to do that and get where they are. I know you were behind setting the company up like that. Can you talk about why?
Yeah, again, I think, first of all, I don't like egotistical people. I mean, I don't. I see guys post pictures with their Lamborghinis, whether they leased them or not, they're theirs or not. Look what they're doing. Look at the house I'm buying. And I actually throw up in my own mouth. Like, I get disgusted. I do, and I don't vomit much, like rarely. I like to throw up in my own mouth. I'm so embarrassed for him that I just throw up in my own mouth. Like, you're that insecure. And I think the other thing is you're putting that message out to people that can't afford the things you can afford. And the only reason you can afford those things is you've taken so much of their money. See, 3 years in, dude, I lived in a 1,200 square foot house that was worth 140 grand, and I had a Honda Accord with 206,000 miles on it. Why? I wasn't a martyr. It's what I could afford. That meant we had the right system. I knew we'd eventually make some money. I was cool with that. I'm not opposed to it.
And that's because after helping so many people.
Dude, you have to help a ton of people. But, you can't. The problem for a lot of folks is they build these small agencies, take so much of their money, they make some good money for a while. It's a crazy turnover. And then people come work here and they're mad. They're like, hey, these people joined you. I'm like, I know. That's my big answer. I'm like, I know. Well, they worked with us. I know where they worked. Well, that's not okay. I'm like, how's that not okay? Why don't you pay them more? They wouldn't quit. I mean, like, why don't you just raise their comp? It's not that complicated. I don't have a contract with you. They're free to go do whatever they want to do. Why are you calling me and bothering me? Because I don't bully anybody, and I'm not going to be bullied either. I don't bother. Just go to work, man. I bother nobody. But you come bother me or us or the agents, because it just doesn't work. So I think we were big on the humility. And I also watched a lot of companies implode. There's a lot of companies throughout the American history that did really well for a while. And then you read about them or you talk to the folks that were involved, and they're like, dude, there was just not enough credit to go around. There was so many egomaniacs. So for us, I think one of the things we lived by is when people do something good, give them credit for it. I tell people all the time, like, you in charge? I go, if it's going bad, I'm in charge. What's the problem? No, it's going good. Oh, these guys are great, dude. If it's going great, give somebody else credit. If it's going bad, take responsibility. And that's just, dude, my mom raised me that way. I just think she did. And I think my coaches raised me that way. I think they just, be a man about it. Be an adult. Don't come in and tell us, you didn't make the play because the sun was in your eyes. Don't do that. And the things I remember from being a kid, I remember my coach I had when I was like 15, he's like, it's 70 and sunny every day. It was Connecticut. Baseball in Connecticut in the fall and the spring suck because it's cold. And it's like 28 degrees, but he had ingrained in us that it's 70 and sunny. Every time you take the field, it's 70 and sunny. Every time you play. So nobody was like, oh my God, I'm cold. They weren't dancing around trying to get warm. That's where I got the whole don't wave your hand like you're hot. You go to a meeting, they're waving the fan in the paper. It's like, dude, you're getting hotter. Your body's trying to cool down more and you're sweating more. It's weird. Calm down. And I think that's some of the cultural stuff that we talked about. Andrew, number one, I don't like it, the egotistical stuff. And number two, it will implode the company. Can you imagine trying to divvy up credit to everybody who wants credit?
Well, what's funny, when the company opened, a lot of producers had big egos, and they wanted everyone to tell them how good they were. And you're the one that basically goes, whoa, 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 whoa. All you're doing is working. Like, you can't act like you're that special and anybody can do this. And you kind of just took that away.
Well, number one, they're not. I'm not trying to, like, I can sell $100,000 a month with my eyes closed. Not because I'm special. I just work really hard. I like the people. I really want them to get life insurance. I'm not afraid of being judged or uncomfortable helping them. But I also, think about this, Andrew. You're trying to teach me to do something. And somebody else goes, man, Andrew's great. Like, he's so good. I can't even imagine. And I'm listening to you. You're nodding your head going, pretty good. I'm thinking, no matter what you teach me, I can't be as good as you. So you're trying to build a team. Why would you do that? Like, this isn't something that requires ability. If it did, then it'd be different. I understand. If you go, man, Andrew's able to, dunk a basketball from the foul line. Okay, that's great. You can tell me all you want. I can't do it. You can scream, yell, teach, give me some shoes that help my calves. I got big legs, dude. Doesn't mean I can dunk a basketball from the foul line. Hell, doesn't mean I can dunk a basketball anymore from anywhere. But this doesn't require any talent. I was big on saying, oh, I know, they're really great. They call people that asked them to call. They meet with people that wanted to meet with them, and they get people life insurance that ordered it. Oh, my God. And I think if you want to get big, you have to have a master's degree in minimization. And I think you have to be really good at going, dude, anybody can do that. Because anybody can do this. It isn't like it's neuroscience. Like, anybody can do it. Anybody can recruit. So I think the minute you start wanting people to, and what I did early on, to be honest with you, Andrew, is the people that were so full of themselves, I just didn't have them trained because I'd never hear the end of it. I used to say to some people, I'm like, hey, we have a lot more people on our training when you do it. Oh, yeah, you think it's really good? I'm like, I know. No, I don't. I think you're good. I think you market the hell out of you all the time. Can't you market everybody else, bud? Like, we're all on one big team. We know you're good, dude. And nobody disputes how good you are.
What would you say to somebody that has, like, a lot of self-doubt getting started? Like, they just don't have a lot of confidence.
I think, it's normal. I understand what that's like. I do. I think, if you ask me how often I doubted if I could run the company, every day. Every day. Every day I was like, all right, can I do this today? Yes, I can. Do I know everything? No, I don't. How do I get better? And hard work pushes through a lot of that. But what I would say is, we have a great infrastructure. As long as you're likable and you work hard, you'll do well. That's my thing. Are you going to be unbelievably good at creating, systems for your business? Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. Who cares? Can you sell life insurance and recruit people to do the same? Yes. What's that take? Hard work, and people got to like you. So I would say I acknowledge the self-doubt, but also I'm a fan of, Pastor Matthews taught me a lot about this. Like, dude, there's just, again, the only book the only book that I'm worried about reading every day, and the only one I read every day, and I'm a train wreck, is the Bible. And nowhere in there does it say to be afraid. Matter of fact, that comes from the other end. You don't, like, that's an evil thing. Like, there's no reason to be afraid of anything outside of the Lord. Like, what are you afraid of? And I'm a big, what's the worst thing that can happen? So if it was you, Andrew, you had self-doubt, I'd go, Drew, what's the worst thing that can happen? And really, when you start talking it out, nothing. The worst thing that can happen is you go to somebody's house, they could say no. The worst thing that can happen is you could call a recruit and they could say no.
Oh, it's weird, though, that because I did this, I was worried about what clients were going to think of me that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird?
Very.
But I think it's more common than not.
I think the majority of people do it. And when I say it's weird, I think it's weird only because I would never give another human being that kind of power over me. And I think that's the bigger deal. Like, people are like, man, you quit drinking for this. I was like, dude, I was tired that it controlled me. I didn't want to be controlled. There's a million reasons I should have quit earlier. Thank God I quit when I did. I'm alive and where I am. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I do think it's common. But what you have to think about, Andrew, is this. If you're serving people, like helping with life insurance is serving them. If you're worried about how you're perceived or what they're going to think,
Selfish.
it's very selfish. Dude, it's ridiculously selfish. And I think that's what always got me through. It's like, I'm there to help you. And I think being a social worker for all those years helped me. I didn't sell. I guess I was selling, right? I was selling them on their programs, selling them what would happen if they didn't abide by these state regulations.
So if you're saying if I call somebody and I'm nervous
Yeah. Well, selfish.
of them judging me, it's actually me being selfish.
Well, of course it is, because here's the problem, Andrew. All they're looking for is for you to be a little bit nervous so they can be nervous. If you're confident, that's why people are like, I don't like calling people on the phone. I'm like, okay. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, Andrew, yeah, Shawn, like Mortgage Protection Center, Senior Benefit Center, getting back to you. Remember this thing? No, I don't. Yes, I do. Cool. So anyway, my job's pretty simple. Get out to you. What can you say to me? And my indifference and my lack of trepidation makes them more comfortable. This didn't work with Trey Honeycutt, but I'm still a big believer if you don't react to dogs, they don't bite, right? So I was walking out this morning, that hotel, these two, and they were going nuts on everybody. I don't know if they're going to bite him or not. And the guy was holding on to him, It's two big pit bulls. And so I'm like, dude,
you got to tell everyone about Trey, though.
I will. So
after.
Yeah. So I'm literally, I got to walk down that lane. I have to. I just can't live with myself if I don't. And the owners got him, so they're probably knocking it. And they look at me, and I look at them, and I'm not scared. And what are they going to do? Bite me? Like, okay. And I'm just looking at them, and I look at him. I'm like, hey, nice dogs, bro. And he's like, first time I heard that all day. I go, people are cowards. What are you going to do? They're just looking at me. I was letting them walked away. Yeah, I told that on a call one day, and then Trey called and said, tell Shawn that whole dog thing is not true because I was going to somebody's house. Where'd it bite him?
In the stomach.
In the stomach, that's right. Then go out and bit him in the stomach. I felt.
He went to the hospital.
Yeah, but what I say to you, I go, he was obviously afraid. He's like, hey, I wasn't afraid. I'm like, they smelled the fear. You were obviously afraid. Yeah, he went to the hospital.
It was an hour after your call. You said, if there's a dog, if
really,
you're not scared of it, they'll leave you alone.
It was really bad timing, and I apologize, Trey. I feel real bad about that and that outcome. But I just think the clients don't want to be lied to. And I think that if you're nervous, they think you're being deceitful. And I think that if you're nervous, it is selfish. And I think they know it's selfish. You're doing a job. I mean, you don't do any other job that way. You're coaching. You don't come in and go like, well, you're in charge. It doesn't mean that it's not a community effort. It doesn't mean, and that's always, I was a big fan of here's what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. I'm still in charge, but here's what we're going to do. I wanted their buy-in, but I was still going to make decisions and help them head in the right direction. And again, you don't get to pick and choose. And the other thing I learned, like I started being a social worker, right out of college. After a time, it's like no big deal. That's what I learned. If you run enough appointments in anything, like I went to enough home visits with people. Was I nervous first couple of times? Yeah, dude. I've been out of college for like a second. And here I am in people's houses with like 2 weeks of training that had all kinds of stuff going on. But after a couple months, I was like, whatever. Like it didn't, whatever. And the same thing here, running appointments. The more you do, the more you become acclimated. We're very, we respond and react and adapt to our environment really well as human beings. If we allow ourselves to, really well. If you said to me tomorrow, hey, dude, I need you to work here and sleep an hour a night, I could do it. We all could. Where our bodies adapt. We could. We might choose not to, but we could.
You would survive.
You'd survive, exactly. You'd be more functional than you think you are because our bodies adapt really well. People don't eat for a day or two. The body shuts down, knows what it's doing, goes in hibernation mode. Our mind and our physical presence are very adaptable, but we don't push them a lot of times.
Now, how did you get to the point where you don't care what people think about you? Because I used to care, and I don't anymore. I don't know how I made that transition.
To be really honest with you, I never have. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't want to try to enlighten you. I never have. I didn't care when I was a kid. I didn't care what teachers thought about me. I think it's the people around me when I was a kid. I think it was the way they talked. I think they raised me that way. And also my mom was a Sunday school teacher, dude. I mean, what I heard from my mom a lot was no human being can ever judge you. Because I think my mom got judged a lot, and I think she struggled with it. And I think watching her be judged made me commit to never going through it. That's probably the better answer. I watched her get judged by everybody because we didn't live in a house, and she worked really hard in 3 jobs, and some of the jobs she worked, like bartender, that, and they just looked at her in a way, not a college graduate, had us really, really, had us young, which was not, that was part of the course back then, but young. And I think I just didn't like the way that they looked at her and talked to her. I mean, they didn't do anything over the top because I'd have defended her, but like just I knew how they felt. They thought they were better than her. And so I think I had a chip on my shoulder, and I was like, I'm never going through that ever. Nobody's going to make me feel that way. And if you start to make me feel that way, I'm going to call you out on it. Or I'm just going to ignore you. Or I'm going to use Pastor Matthews. Hey, thanks for bringing that up. I'm trying to get better every day. But I genuinely don't care. And I think I just got that early, and I knew that was my way to, and again, I'm not, my mom is more than qualified to quote from the Bible and preach and do the things she does. She's just a phenomenal human being. But I remember that from being little, like no human being has the right to judge you. Don't ever let anybody have that kind of power and control over you. So my deal is like, it's like Eminem and 8 Mile every day.
I love that.
End. I mean,
can you talk about that a little bit? Because
yeah,
I've been doing that.
Yeah, we the first time I ever watched that movie, I was like, man, that's what we've been trying to do our whole lives. You get up, and first of all, I think it's a great movie, and I'm a fan. But when when he gets up and just says like, I live in a trailer with my mom, we're broke. I am who I am. You slept with my girlfriend. Y'all jumped me and beat me up. I mean, like, but what else? Like, what's up? Like, that's who I am. Like, now you know everything about me. Now what? And I'm a big fan of that. Like, whatever. I mean, everybody's going to want to take a shot every once in a while. So what? Who cares? And it's a better way to, and I think that's part of the deal when you're in this business is if there's something you're not good at and you put on the table or with a client, if there's something you don't know and you tell them first. If they ask you how long you've been doing it in a short period of time, you tell me, what are they going to, who cares? I mean, if I give it to you, A, it makes me a lot more fallible. And B, you can't use it against me. I gave it to you.
And you think people like you if you're fallible, not perfect.
I think people get nervous when you present like you're perfect. When you present like you don't have anything going on, I think it makes people really nervous because they have problems like the rest of us. I think when you do I'm just a perfectionist. I'm like, no, you're a sociopath. I just hate that. That's like, who are you? You're a perfect human being. I mean, who taught you that? I've just always been a perfectionist. No, you've always been full of it, and you think you're perfect, and you're far from perfect. So no human being is perfect. Stop projecting that way. And you're trying to let us know you're better than us, and you ain't any better than us. So stop acting that way. It's nauseating. So. I think for me, it's just one of those things where I know that people want to, we talk about all the time, we're a bunch of imperfect people helping imperfect people. I give advice on things I can help out with and things I can't help out with, I do not give advice on. I might go, dude, I'm not your guy. I don't know. I mean, you don't want to ask me about that. That's not an area of my life that I'm going to be able to go like, yeah, you should do this and this and this. I'm not going to do that. So I think that be you, don't give anybody the power over you to do that ever. And I think, we use that analogy from the movie because a lot of people have seen it and it becomes a lot more concrete. But that's what disabled his buddy, right? Like his guy, the one he was competing with, not his buddy. His guys, that guy wanted, hammer him with the things that he knew.
And he had
nothing left.
Yeah.
He's like, I said it all about myself. Now, when you say it about me, it looks really weird. It looks really weak on your part because I've already said it. Like, now what? Tells people something they don't know. That's how he ends it, right? Boom. Here you go. And actually, if you want to take it a step deeper at the very end of it, not trying to be all cinematic, but at the very end, he's like, dude, I don't care if y'all vote for me now. I don't care about this battle. You can beep and beep and beep and beep. I don't care. Don't matter to me. Like, I don't care. When you don't care, and what I mean by that is you're very dangerous. When you don't care about other people's opinions, when you don't care if they're judging you, when you don't care about, hey, I didn't get this award necessarily, you become pretty powerful. A man or a woman in control of his or her emotions is very powerful. It's when you can't control your emotions that you're not powerful at all. Because people are like, whatever. And people don't like emotion a lot, especially when there shouldn't be. They're like, all right. Like, they just kind of shut down and walk away from you. But if you can be in control of it, man, it's lights out.
You say don't be weary in well-doing, right?
Yeah, don't grow weary in well-doing.
Don't grow weary in well-doing a lot.
I do.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I just see a lot of people do it. And I've learned a lot of life lessons along the way, you know, and I've seen what complacency does. You know, I was in high school. My senior year, we had a really good baseball team. I didn't know what our damn record was at the end, but we didn't. I mean, if we lost 1 or 2 games, I don't like live in the past that way. But we'd already won a couple state titles. We should have won the state title. I think we're the number 1 seed. I think we played the last seed in the first round. And everybody was like, we're going to, like, how could we? I mean, we're unbelievable. We're loaded. We're in the best conference in the state. We're unbelievable. We have tons of talented kids that are playing college. Like, there's no way. A couple of them are getting drafted. Like, there's no way we're going to lose. They beat us 6-4. You know, I just remember sitting on the field going like, dude, how did that just happen? Well, it happened because we grew weary. You know, we were doing well. We, of course, were going to win. You know, we probably pitched a kid we shouldn't have pitched. I'm a big believer in you got to win today. Like, when I coach my kids, I'm like, they're like, Coach, why don't you save? I'm like, I ain't saving nobody, bro. If we don't win today, we don't play tomorrow. So I'm not doing that. If you want to do it, do it. I'm in charge. I'm not doing it. You're pitching. Why? You're our best pitcher. But, Coach, you're our best pitcher. If we lose today, there is no game tomorrow. You do understand that, right? Okay, good. Wouldn't that be weird if you were sitting on the bench and we lost? Now, if we get up by 10 or 12, I go, all right, maybe I'll take you out first thing and put some, but I'm not growing weary. I'm not getting caught like that. And people doing business all the time.
Why do you think people do that, though?
I think because it's what they've always done. I think people are just, their idea of winning is different. Like, if you've never made any money and now all of a sudden you're making a little bit more than you've ever made, and you look at your bank account, because a lot of times that's the barometer for how I'm doing. I have my bank account. I have X amount of dollars in the bank. I had no money, now I have 10 grand. I can't believe it. Or I paid my credit cards. And they just, to be really honest with you, part of that is why capitalism works. I mean, like, think about the fact that, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm going to be honest. Think about the fact that we go to 12 years of school and we're taught things in school by people, for the most part, that have never, ever gone past that level financially, like ever. They've just lived check to check. And they give us their opinion on things. And they mold our kids quite a bit if we let them. And, you know, especially nowadays, they talk about things that aren't their business. They infuse, I can remember, you know, my English teacher talking to me about, you know, I wrote a poem and it was about, you know, being an entrepreneur. And I was like in 8th grade. And he was like, you know, that's not for everybody. It's not as easy as it looks. And those things you're probably never going to have. You should be more realistic in your dreams. It's like, but I didn't listen to him because I was already taught that for the most part, he's probably an idiot. So I was going to listen to him. So I was like, okay. I just kept him. I've never forgot it. You know, I think that's just why capitalism works. I think it's this idea of let's work hard enough to pay our bills and let's take as much time off as we can. That's what people do. And then there's people that are fewer and further between. They're like, I know I can get ahead if I kill it for 2, 3, 4 years and live the rest of my life like crazy. I was listening to Arthur Blank one day talk, founder of Home Depot, owner of the Falcons, and he said, you know, I said to my family, you're not going to see me much for the next 3 years. But you guys are going to get older. I don't want to miss anything you're doing when you're older, and we're going to live an amazing life that I can have freedom. We have the money to do things we want to do, and we'll be able to get very philanthropic. I want to give money back. But for 3 years, you're not going to know who I am.
Yeah, I was with you, and I remember he also said he sacrificed sleep a lot.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sleep. I mean, I'm just not. I mean, I'll be straight up with you. I'm just not. I mean, I just think, I feel like I'm missing something. I'm a big fan of going to bed real late and getting up real early. There's a lot of work to be done. If you get 2, 3, 4.
Do you ever like catch up on sleep? Like,
I mean, on occasion I do, but it's still not like I don't sleep in like sleep coma for 10, 12 hours. I mean, I don't know that I can sleep 6 hours no matter how long I've gone.
Because you're excited?
I'm excited. I don't think your body, I'm not going to argue with people that are like, if you don't sleep this many hours, this will happen to you. It's like, where's the science behind that? I mean, everybody's got a damn opinion, you know. I kind of go, I've been doing it this way for a long time. It works for me. I feel good. I'm in good health. You know, I go to the doctor. They say I'm in good health. Like, I feel better. It gives me the ability to make sure I can, you know, work out and do things I want to do because I'm up earlier. You can't do that if you wake up real late and you're chasing your day. You're going to sacrifice something. And you're going to sacrifice working out, whatever it is. So I just think sleep's overrated. And I think, you know, you start sleeping more than 5, 6 hours, I think you're sleeping your life away. And I guess that's the other thing. I kind of did the math, and I was like, 8 hours a day means I'll be asleep for a third of my life. Like 33% of my life, I will be sleeping. I'm like, I don't know that I want that. I'm thinking more like 10%, 12, 9. That sounds a lot better.
Um, it seems like some people, including you, uh, instead of getting comfortable when you're doing well, you just create this lifestyle of we help people, we work hard, and it doesn't change no matter what happens. How do you think people get to that point where like being successful is just their lifestyle? It's not let's be successful so we can go to Disneyland or let's be successful so we could get this. It's just the way they live.
I think for us, it's about continuing to help people. I mean, I think our business, we're very blessed because, one of the things I always think to myself every week is how many people do we hire this week that are trying to pay their bills? Like legitimately trying to pay their bills. Like if you're watching this, you're in the business, you're not, you think about getting in the business, and you just get in and you're just trying to pay your bills. I think man, that's a game changer. And I think that's so. And Andrew, I think you got to create that. I'm a big, healthy paranoia person. I think you should have a healthy paranoia. I think people are trying to figure out ways to do what we're doing every day.
Yeah. What would be some positive reasons to work for Family First Life aside from money?
Well, I think at the end of the day, the freedom that it will provide you with your family. That was the biggest thing. One of the things that most excites me about a lot of people is they're like, hey, I want to work here because I've missed a lot of things with my kids, my spouse, my mom, my dad. Seriously, my dog, my cat, my kids I coach, whatever. I've missed a lot of that working, whatever hours they've given me for X amount of years. So I think the freedom to be able to do things you want to do. I think the growth you'll have as an independent contractor, the support that we provide. I think that we have a lot of men and women that are very courageous in their training and very courageous in their support, which is good. I think they just are that way. And I love them for that. I think that, I think it's a place where nobody's going to judge you. That's the other thing. Like, I don't care. I don't like, so what? I did this. I went through this. I don't care. But I don't care. I'm not perfect. I don't care. I practice what I preach. I'm not judging you. I don't care. And somebody else is, then leave them alone. That's what they create the block button for. Leave them alone. Move on. Like, what are you doing? And I think a healthy place for you to go ahead and be challenged, but be successful. And to have that support means you're really not in it on your own. And we have a desire to see more people make money. That's what motivates us. So, yes, as you said, not just the money, I hear you, but the support we provide people to be as successful as they want to be. But I think a lot of it is you're buying time. The way I look at the money is I'm buying time. I'm buying time to do things I want to do with my kids. I'm just buying time. Means that I can have my phone and be at my son's games. I can be at my daughter's pageants. I can be at her movie shoots if I have my phone because I worked really, really hard selling life insurance, really, really hard building a business. But I'm buying time. I don't have to say no to them in regards to things that they say they don't care if I go because they're older, but they care.
Can you talk about the true comp after bonus? And a lot of people don't see that part that you're actually at.
Yeah, we do 145 on the mortgage side, which probably with the bonus, the way we bonus everybody at a certain level probably ends up in the mid 150s if you climb all the way up the bonus. And then I think final expense, you get yourself into that around that one. We have some real high comp on the final expense side too. It's by product, but you can get yourself in the upper 140s and low 150 on the final as well. And if you really play your cards right, I think you get closer to 160 on the mortgage side with some of the products we have. And again, for us, it makes us feel real good because it's very healthy comp for everybody, but it's also in a place where you're encouraged to continue to grow people because you're always going to get paid.
Yeah, so if I hire someone and they get to my same comp level.
Well, we bonus the heck out of you, and you make probably more than you were making non-charge backable before because we don't ever want to dissuade you.
So it encourages me to help people get to the top contract.
And I don't know anybody else that does that. Not to the tune of, our bonuses are a couple $100,000 a month. Not to the, I'm sorry. Our bonuses are $1 million. Our bonuses are, we just hit, I was thinking about when we started. Our first one was like, I think total with everybody was like $140,000 a month, like total. And now we're $800-900 million a month that we pay out. I think this one was like 1.1
non-chargebackable
to 1.16 non-chargebackable.
Yeah, because you always got to think if you build an agency and your guys go to the same comp level as you wouldn't make any money, right?
It happened to me. I worked in a system like that. Got my guys moved up, was ecstatic for them. Went to the people and said, what does that mean now? And they said, hire more people. And I went, but I hired them, and they did the work. They're awesome, but I did hire them. They're on my team. I provided the support y'all asked me to do. They achieved. What do you mean go hire more people? So my business now is, I had a buddy of mine, a big office supply company, and I was working another, in this business trying to figure it out. And he came to me one day and he's like, I lost all my accounts. Corporate took all my accounts. I got too big, and they said to start over again. I'm thinking, that's what I'm doing every day in life insurance. And he's like, I said, what are you doing? He's like, I'm quitting. And I'm like, why am I not quitting? Right? Like, it's the same. And I'm going, that's terrible, dude. I can't believe I did that to you. And then I'm like, that's the same thing that's happened to me. I'm working real hard, bringing these accounts on, and then all of a sudden they're taken away from me.
What would you say to someone that's been in the industry a long time? They have a lot of friends where they're at, a lot of relationships. They're not where they want to be financially, but that's keeping them from making a move.
Yeah, I told everybody from day one, I'm the most loyal to my kids. So I've left companies where I had a lot of friends too. I wasn't leaving to be mad at them. I thought we could still stay friends, and if we didn't, we didn't. That's fine. But I was much more loyal to providing for my kids than I was about my friendship with Tom, who I knew from the company. Like, I liked Tom. He was cool. Life's good. I'm not going to be mad at Tom because I'm leaving. If Tom's mad at me because I've left, that's Tom's business, not mine. I'm here. I want to be, but I'm not picking friendships over taking care of my kids. If I'm somewhere for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, or at this point, year, 2, 3 years, and I can't make any money, I'm out. I'm out. I tell people here, if you've been working with us 90 days, 120 days, and you can't do $15K a month, you're doing everything. You're doing everything we asked you to do. You're doing everything. Maybe it's not a good fit. Now, if you're not doing everything different, Shawn, I'm not running many appointments. I don't have any leads. I've really been uncomfortable in the house. I haven't changed. Cool. Then let's continue work in progress. No big deal. But if you're adamant, I've done everything that everybody tells me. I'm like, dude, get a job, man. I go work over there. Well, their comp's less. They don't have me training. I'm like, but if you can't do it here, it's kind of one of the things to say. If we can't get you sound life insurance, because we're really good at it, I think it's because you're fighting us on it, or you're not willing to put in the work.
Yeah. If somebody doesn't have their license and let's say they're watching this, what would you tell them that would be a good fit here? Like, they would need to be like to be a good fit here.
Well, first of all, I would say if you're going to get your license, get it fast. I think one of the things I realized, this was the ability to make money real fast. I got mine in a couple of days. Like, I took the class. A couple of days later, I was done. Scheduled a state exam, took the class. I can tell you that if you're truly, you truly do care about people, like, you don't have to be like the greatest human being ever, but if you care, like, you really want to see people be okay, you like to protect them, you got a good work ethic, you're willing to get uncomfortable, you'd be a great fit for us. I mean, a lot of the ads we ran early on were athletic and military experience required. You did not need to be an All-American, didn't need to be a Navy SEAL. Just want people that are part of a team and have been part of a team, were part of a team, are currently part of a team. And I think for the unlicensed people, what happens is you're not making any money when you're in class because you don't have a license, and you get distracted by life. The best advice I could give you is all the people in your life that are not helping you get to the next level, at least mute them out for a little bit so you can get to your license. I mean, they're not helping you. They're like, why don't we just do this? Or why are you so worried about working? And it's the weekend. It's like, I don't know where the weekend became, I need to stay broke and capitalism will survive. Let's get drunk and spend the money we don't have so we start all over again on Monday. I'm like, one of the things that bothers me most, I'll be at you'll be at a pro game and like they have on some other man's jersey, and these are grown men, which is weird in and of itself. Jerseys are hundreds of dollars. And I'm thinking, I wonder what they make a week. Like, what are you doing? You put on your credit card. Before you know it, do with 5 things, $1,000 with the obnoxious interest. And it's like, what are we doing? What are our priorities? So I think I would assess my priorities. And if this is your plan A, treat it like it's your plan A. I think that's a struggle for people. Like, do I have a plan B? No. And I acted like it though. I might have a plan B as far as decision for my daughter's going to dance. I might have some plans there. Or she falls in love with one of them and she wants to go to this dance school. That's my plan A. I don't have a backup plan. Means she wants to get in there. We got to figure out if she can get in or not. How can we do it? How does she apply? How does she interview? Who does she reach out to? But I really think that all of the above for unlicensed people, the most important thing is don't languish in pre-licensing class. Get it done real fast. We have people get it done in a day or two all the time, every day.
What are some things that we would not want, like if you were to hire somebody, you would not want them to have certain.
Dude, I don't do well with people that are not accountable because you can't get anywhere. If I go, hey, Andrew, how the appointments go? Terrible. I go, well, or what made them terrible? They don't want life insurance. I go, okay, how many did you run? 5. All right, tell me about it. Like all 5 of them doing. Yeah, they didn't want it, Shawn. I met with 4 of them. One wouldn't even let me in. And nobody wants life insurance. I go, okay, what do you think you could have gotten better at? I did everything y'all asked me to do. I'm good. I
You,
can't. There's nothing I can do. I mean, you're not even letting me. You're not even willing to talk to me about what you're doing or not doing. You're just got your guard up. So unaccountable people. Also, people I think that genuinely don't care about other people because there are people like that. I'm not trying to be like I'm not, but they don't care. If you're just purely transactional, it's just you have to be really really good to hide it. Do I think people have done it? Yes, but they're very few and very far between. If your pure motivator is the dollar bill for me, it's gonna be a struggle for you, dude.
what about people that complain about it, everything?
I don't do well with that. I don't, but I tend not to hire them. I mean, I'm easy. I'm kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm like, what's wrong? What happened? Well, nothing. What do you mean? Well, you're doing okay. That's weird. Like, what happened? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm like, what happened? No, I'm just saying I was okay. I know, Andrew. I'm not trying to, but I'm never said okay once in my life. I've always said great, couldn't be better, couldn't be better, couldn't be better. Like, why is it okay? Now, if you go, man, my cat just died. I had a cat for 7 years. I go, I'm sorry, right? I go, I'm sorry. That I'm sorry about that. It makes sense. I'm okay. But if you go, no, nothing's going on. I'm like, then stop doing that, please. I don't, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm nice about it, respectful. And if you go, why are you saying this makes no sense? I can say whatever I want. I go, you 100% can. But see how I had no emotion when I'm saying I'm completely void of emotion? I'm like, you can say whatever you want.
So do you think people try to hire everyone?
Yeah, and I don't know. Listen, I think talking to everybody's a good idea. I'm okay with hiring everybody. I'm just not okay with spending time with everybody. I got no problem with hiring everybody. I mean, what are you doing? You put them in you give them pre-licensing or give them contracting. I'm not worried about that part. Where I get is the time. I have no problem with you running appointments with people that maybe you weren't sure was a real appointment and show up. As long as you're out there in 4 or 5 minutes, if it's a no, get out. I'm cool with that because you don't want to waste your time. So hiring everybody, fine. Spending your time with people that aren't looking to do anything, and that's the other thing. A lot of times the frustration comes from you're spending time with people that haven't said they want to do anything, but you're spending time with them. They've never said they want to do it. They've never worked hard, and you're trying to will them to do it. And they're looking at you like you're crazy because they've not asked for this. They've not asked for your support. They've not asked to be pushed. They've not asked to achieve. So I'm also a big fan of people that don't have a plan B. Not because but if it's like, yeah, I'm going to try it, but I'm doing this. It doesn't mean they can't be good at it, but that's probably not where we're going to put my time either. Shawn, I do this over here, makes a bunch of money. I got my license, see if I can make a few extra bucks. Cool, dude. Let me know if I can help. Like I'm here. Let me know if I can help. But if you're not accountable, if you're negative by nature, and if people aren't going to like you, I'm probably good.
Got it. Cool. All right. Well, somebody that we know recently said that he thinks, and this is actually somebody we both respect, that he thinks we've built the best insurance agency ever created, or we will, he said, if we have not already. And what do you think about that us continuing that pace? Do you think that's going to happen?
First of all, that's really humbling. I can't feel that. Like I don't. Not that the guy's great. I know we have immense respect for him. I just don't know if I could say that. I think we have a long way to go. I respect, his the good gesture. I respect the kind words about our company. I think we have awesome people. You guys are amazing. People lead the company. But Andrew, I really believe we're just getting started. I feel like it's day one again. When we signed our deal with Integrity, I was like, I feel like I just started. And I've never been more excited. So at the corporate level, I mean, I had a guy I also respect really well that works with us here who told a few guys, he's like, here's your problem, you guys. You guys thought that when we did the deal with Integrity that somehow corporate and Shawn were going to slow down. Like, that's your fault, though. He's like, I've known him 12 years. That was never going to happen. They were never going to do that. So if you assumed because, hey, I'd like to slow down and do nothing, you got the wrong, because you got people to help here, bro. We're not saying you got to work 100 hours a week. We're not saying you need to run. You use your phone and go to work. Hire people, invest in, get some recruiting staff, do all that but he's like, so I think for us, we're always going to work really hard. We want to keep winning at a high level. And we don't want to let anybody down. I mean, I think it's the biggest thing for me. It's like, I'm not going to, people are going to be who they're going to be, negative, judge, that's their business. But for the rest of the people that are working hard, I don't want to let them down.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for all y'all do.